All right. From the recently published book, Almost the Truth About Youth Ministry, Salesmen, Secretaries, and Smart Alecks, available at lulu.com. That's LULU.com. A chapter called Lock-ins. I hate lock-ins. You know, of course, what I mean by lock-in. Spending an entire night, all the way until morning, in the church building with the youth group kids, plus the fringe kids who would usually never show up in a church building except on a court-induced juvenile detention work release program. Of course, on the surface, it seems like a great idea. How else will you ever get some meaningful contact with those fringe kids? What better way to get some relationship building and quality time accomplished? After all, just considering time with the teens, one lock-in equals 10 to 12 Sunday schools. Warning, this line of reasoning will lead you down a steep and slippery path toward an early demise, or worse. A person could list practically any number of reasons to hate lock-ins. It would be enough to point out that God did not intend for humans to deprive themselves of sleep. Of course, the solution to that is to put sleep time in the lock-in schedule. Of course, that doesn't work. If you schedule time for people to sleep, you will spend that entire time, of course, telling kids to be quiet and looking for the few who have sneaked out to the church bus to see just how many windows they can fog up at once. Of course, the solution to that is to just plan to stay up all night. Of course, that doesn't work. If you plan for everyone to stay up all night, there will be a full 27.8% of the participants who have to sleep because they've got a big game the next day, or their family is going to have a special memorial service for their ex-neighbor-in-law's former paperboy's dead praying mantis. Of course. That's one of the things I hate about lock-ins. No matter what you do, it's not the right thing. If you give the kids plenty of free time so they can talk with their friends and play board games, you will face two situations. One, every 3.7 minutes, a Nintendo-deprived adolescent will engage his or her well-practiced whine and intone, "This is boring." Two, the windows of the church bus will get fogged up. Of course, if you schedule activities to solidly fill each available minute, you will face the same two situations. If you furnish the sugar, caffeine, grease, and salt, disguised as snack food, of course, that it would take to keep a Roman legion on the march, there won't be anything that anybody likes. Of course, if you tell the teens to bring their own snacks to share, you'll end up getting a bag of Doritos, half-dozen brownies, and 3 cans of Mountain Dew. If you plan a Bible study, the kids will want to just play. Of course, if you plan to just play, the kids will complain that it was a waste of time because there was no Bible study. Of course. What it comes down to is a 12-hour-long battle of wills. Will I make it through the night without collapsing? Will the snacks hold out? Will enough kids actually play the group games to make the name group game appropriate? Will we stop the couples fogging up the church bus windows before it's too late? Will anyone squeal on me if I duct tape that kid to a chair and throw him into a closet until morning? Of course, none of these things represent my real reason for hating lock-ins. Actually, I hate lock-ins because they turn me into a liar. Of course, you're wondering how lock-ins turn me into a liar. At the end of every lock-in I've ever been involved with, I have, without exception, made an official self-proclamation: I am never going to do another lock-in. Of course, about 9 months later, some 8th grader says, "When are we going to have another lock-in? The last one we had was so fun." And so, my resolve crumbles, and I do whatever it takes to get kids to associate church with excitement. Of course.